Welcome to this Sunday School webinar. I hope you having a great time wherever you are in the world. Maybe it's morning for you now, or maybe it's evening. It doesn't really matter. So we do these Sunday School webinars on Sundays. If you're new, you can bring your team to these webinars, and we will talk about principles of building business, leadership, personal development, and much more. So let's dive into today's subject, which is character. You know, we're using this Maslow's pyramid just to understand the importance of personal development, but also as a measurement to see where we are. And the best thing I think with this is that it actually explains that success is good. You were born to win. You were born to succeed. And success is so individual. It's nothing to do with the amount of money you have in a bank account. It's something totally different. But luckily, for many people, money is a byproduct of being successful. And Maslow tried to explain to us that the meaning of life is not to just stay as you are or as you think you are. You should move on. You should try new ideas. You should develop. You should create. You should be creative. So the whole purpose of his thinking is that we all start in the lower levels, but we shouldn't stay there. We should move. And that gives us a pretty good reason, you know, why to do something, why to do a business, why to sit at this webinar for 30 minutes and listen to someone talk, because it's part of the meaning of life. I'm not saying that Maslow has everything right. I'm not promoting him or his philosophy or books. I'm just using this as a good example because I think it's a great example. You know, because sometimes we all wondering like, why am I here? What am I doing? You know, and he explains this in a real way that the purpose is actually to become self-actualization. So we are moving up. And to move up, we need to do things to become. So it's during the journey of becoming that all the good things will come to you. Okay, so that was just a starting point for today. We'll talk about character. And you know, a lot of people, they have stress, or they think that they don't do enough, or you know, but success takes time. It doesn't matter how long time it's going to take, because meanwhile you weed out the people that shouldn't be there, the circumstances that you're not supposed to be part of. So it's like cleaning. It's like getting rid of weed in the garden. So success is so individual. For some people, it's something. For others, a total different thing. but you were born to succeed. Never forget it. But to succeed, I think, and many with me, that to become real successful, you got to become a leader. That's why we have these webinars. And some people, it scares them because they don't think they have it in them, or they will not, the purpose will not to be a leader. But actually, it is, because you're leading someone. If you have a family, you're leading your kids. If you have a small business, you're leading your employees. If you're by yourself, you're not married, you don't have a family, you don't have a business, you're leading yourself. So you are a leader. You were born to lead. And leadership is the foundation of all success and all business. That without leadership, there's no business. And character is the foundation of real leadership. So what is character? Well, my mentor told me 30 years ago, and he explained, Peter, the purpose is to become the person you were meant to be. So you got to start all over. I was 25 at the time, and he said, you got to start all over. You got to relearn. You got to actually get rid of everything you learned up until today and learn something new. And you got to build your character. And I was going like, what is that? What is character? And he said, character is being the same person always. So you're not one person when people see you and another person when people don't see you, because that's not character. And there's many, many, many examples of, that character is the foundation, and it is, the only way. Like it says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out. Or do not be conformed to this world, but for the renewal of your mind. So character is so important. That means that you can't lead other people if you don't have character, if you're not striving for character. So I will go through what character is, and what it's not, and how we can get it. Okay. So character is being the same person always. So why is that so important? Well, because your leadership will determine the quality of the people that will follow you. So if you don't have character, or if a leader doesn't have character, his or her followers will not have character. Leadership determines many things, but I'll go through just this real quick here. Like the attitude of a leader will duplicate or will eventually drip down in his organization or her organization. Commitment, goal setting, everything. You can put anything you want in here. This is just a couple of examples that leadership will determine everything for the followers. So that's why it's important. You can't, it's like if a person says that he's doing one thing and doing another, that's not character. Like some person try to tell his followers that they should set goals, and he or she doesn't set his own goals. It will not work. So leadership is not being on the top, like most people think, I'm on the top, I'm the best, I determine what other people should do. No. It's being at the bottom. It's the foundation for an organization. That's where you build the strength. So leadership is not about telling other people what to do or what not to do. Is showing other people what to do or not to do. And I've said this so many times on these webinars. Doesn't matter. You can have $1 million in a bank account, but without character, you will probably not keep it. And you will probably not enjoy it. And you will probably not be able to make another one if you don't build your character. But the people who build their character, they can lose $1 million, but they can make another $1 million, because by character and the principles that they used to make the first $1 million, they can make another. And that's why we have these webinars. I'm trying to tell you this. So the knowledge that we acquire listening and reading books and being on webinars, that can people never take away from you. It's something you will keep. So character, you need character. You need to be that same person. Another big thing, among others, why character? Well, it's the foundation on everything, but it's also the producer of trust. We're in a business. If people can't trust you, people can't trust the leaders of any organization, that organization will not last. It's just as simple as that. So we need character so people can say, well, I like that guy or I like her, because it seems like they tell me the truth. It seems like they're honest. They have been showing it in their actions. And of course, total opposite. So trust is the currency of leadership. You can't build anything without trust. And if you examine, you don't have to like me or these webinars or anything I say, but if you go back and listen to all these Sunday schools, maybe there's a missaying somewhere, but 99.9% of the information is principle based. And I'm not saying one thing one day and another day, because that was not the way I was taught. And if you can see that the information is the same always, then you can start realizing that, wow, this is something I can build with. This is the foundation. But all organization needs trust. All organization needs to trust the people. And it's impossible to lead anyone if they don't trust you. And like it says here on the side, trust is a deposit on the leadership and over time. So someone will watch you, what you're doing. And if you say the things you like, very simple. My mentor told me, Peter, he said, if you're working with people, you're working in a business, said, if you say you're going to be there, be there. If you say they're going to be there a certain time, be there that certain time. Show up without thinking. So I will come back to how we build our character, but now it's just showing that leadership is about building character so that people know that you're for real, that they can trust you. And that is built over time. And it's kind of people will test you. They will think, well, maybe I will see here, what happens, next month, or so test over time is trust. So that's why it's so important to build something from the beginning. Build it real from the beginning. Maybe it takes a little longer time, not to to chase that dream of yours or take shortcuts, just to be real. So this is an example that anyone can understand. If you don't understand the word character, you can look it up in a dictionary, but I think my explanation is pretty good. Character is being the same person when people see you as when people don't see you. And people without character, you can easily spot them because they say one thing and they do another. So they say they will show up, they don't show up. Or they say just by flipping their lips by word one thing and they do another. It's not character. So character is the foundation, and character is not competence or power, or some people have power because they're in a position. Doesn't mean that they have character. Does not mean that they can lead people. And you will go, well, yeah. So it's not about having a position that someone gave you, or maybe you acquired that position, or you have a certain talent, or you have charisma. It's not about charisma. It's not about anything else than being real. And that's where this comes in. Well, I'm trying to stress this. I talk a lot about this, that 95% of all your decisions is made in your subconscious mind, 5% in your conscious mind. So that's why it says in the good book that the renewal of your mind. So you got to renew your thinking, or actually you got to renew your subconscious mind, because if a person without a character all of a sudden makes a lot of money, doesn't mean nothing, because that person will still make 95% of all his decision, and he will say one thing and do another, even if he has 10 million in his bank account. So you got to understand, you have to start rebuilding your subconscious mind, and that is spending time with people who have character, reading books and listening to stuff, and understand that every time you're listening to something and you take that information and you repeat it or you put it in action, slowly your subconscious will go, oh, I understand. This is, what we should do, or this is right. This is the information. That's why it takes time. So it's by repetition of good things. It's by repetition of the right things, first of all, the repetition of the principles, and you put them in action. And sometimes it's not comfortable because you got to go against your fears. You got to go against everything. You got to go against all of your old thinking. And that is why so few people take the ladder and climb in the Maslow pyramid. They stay in the lower, maybe 90% of the people will stay in the lower level. Why? Well, not because of lack of information. They probably got the information sometimes, but they choose the easy way out. They choose not to read, not to listen, not to put things in action. And they choose to go back to the old thinking, to the fear-based thinking. So information does not bring character to someone. Conversion does. So what is conversion? Well, we talked about a little bit, I think, 2 webinars ago, but conversion is changing in form or function. So when you start to learning new stuff, new information comes inside your mind, and you start acting upon that new information, you will slowly change. You will slowly start changing yourself. But that takes discipline, ladies and gentlemen. That takes discipline. Discipline is when you're standing, you got to choose. And you can choose the easy way, or you can choose the hard way. You can choose to go against your fears. You can choose to go with your fears. You can choose to take a shortcut, or you can choose to do the right thing, which will take longer time. That is why you need discipline. Because we will stand in front of choices every day. And when we choose the right thing, you remember that choosing to go right, to fight, or choosing go left, fear. And when we choose fear, all the bad things will happen to us. So it's not that it happens to us, we are actually making a choice. So build your character. You can only do it by discipline. So you're slowly changing your subconscious mind, because in your belief system, that is what you really believe. That is what you really think about things. That's where the 95% of all your decision making is. So that's where you need to go to change. You got to change that 95%, because the 95% will never change. But the knowledge and the information, and if you put principle inside of yourself instead of, fact, that will always change. That's when you start learning. So let's put this in a simple example. The psychology of winning that I've been doing. So we have a thought, we have a picture in our mind. That thought maybe create fears. That's where discipline comes in, because your old thinking will say, no, don't do that, or that's going to take a long time, or people will surpass you, and no, it will not work, or that's where the discipline comes in. And you said, no, I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to do like what he said on that webinar that day I was listening. So you take action, and you will create a result. So that is like, you are creating that new thought by discipline. So you make a choice. And I know inside of every human being, we know what's right or wrong. We just fool ourselves sometimes, or many times. So again, this is what we do every day. We're thinking, we're creating emotions and feelings, and with lack of discipline, we will be the same person that we were before we started, even if we have money in our bank account. But when we start slowly changing by discipline, the way we do things, the way we operate, that's when real success is taking place. And, you know, this is the 3 things you need when you're listening to my webinars, or you're reading a book, or you're going to an event, or you're at a success seminar, wherever you are. You need 3 things. You need humility. You need an open mind, and you need willingness. And I will explain. You need an open mind. It doesn't mean that you have to agree what I say today. Don't agree. I will say that's my suggestion. Don't agree, but test it. Prove it. Take what I say and see and test it and see if is it correct, you know? So you don't have to agree with anything, but you can test it. But you need an open mind to say, okay, you know, I will see. I will, you know, I would try this. You need willingness to do the things that's uncomfortable. You need willingness and willingness is connected with the discipline. And you need humility to understand that, you know, you're not in competition with other people. You're in competition with yourself. With that, we come to the end of this webinar today. So I hope you got something out of it. If you didn't, you have to come back next Sunday. And if you do these things, I promise you, the best of your life will be the rest of your life. Because you're not who you think you are. You are who you think you are. Be blessed out there. Be prosperous, happy, joyous, and free. See you next Sunday.